Hey, welcome everyone to the Muskie Sports Network, to Coffee with Coaches, presented by Jennings Java. I'm Tom Caudell, and joining me today is Muskingum women's basketball head coach Kelly Broderick. Coach, welcome to Coffee with Coaches.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you on the show. And when you're looking for that fresh roast experience, it's JenningsJava.com, founded by Daniel Jennings, a former Muskie student athlete here, men's soccer player. And now him and AJ Kazmierzak, another Muskie alum and baseball player, doing great things with Jennings Java. So fresh roast, JenningsJava.com. Coach, we were talking, this is a great opportunity to let our fans, the Muskie Nation, alumni, student athletes who are looking at Muskingum, to get to know you a little bit better, get to know you outside of being a coach. And we'll get it rolling. Where did you grow up? When did you first become involved with basketball?
Yeah, I grew up in a town called Canandaigua, New York. It's in Western New York, about an hour from Rochester. And I first got exposed to basketball from my father. He was our local high school boys basketball coach. I'd been there for many years. So we always went to the gym with him. We're in there, quite often. So that's kind of how I first got exposed to the sport.
Coach, as you were going through, the middle school, high school, playing competitive basketball, when did you think, I want to continue this and play at the college level?
Yeah, I think I had always wanted to, especially from a young age, being around my dad, who was a coach. I was around the varsity girls team as well a lot, and saw, them kind of go on, them choose their, college careers where they wanted to go after that. And then once I became, high school age, junior, that's when I really started to figure out, okay, how can I make this a reality?
Your first stop as a player and as undergrad was Finger Lakes Community College. You then transferred to Nazareth College. When you think back about your experiences as a student athlete, what are some memories you have that you hold pretty close today?
Yeah, all of them are involved with basketball, and the friendships that I created throughout that. Some of my very good friends today are still those that I played with at Naz. And just kind of, helped me, through my years, and really helped me to create the best memories that I could have, during that time.
Coach, as you're going through and you're a student athlete, you're competing, when did you realize or think, I want to be a coach too? When did that passion kick in? When did you first realize that?
Yeah, I knew for a while, obviously being a coach's daughter, being exposed to it, all the time. But then when I was at FLCC, I helped out with our local JV soccer team. And, helping out with that is when it really hit me that, okay, this is definitely something that I want to do. I'm going to find, some way, shape, or form. I'm going to continue coaching throughout my lifetime.
And then how did your experience as a student athlete, at FLCC, at Nazareth, prepare you to be a head coach?
Yeah. Obviously the, invaluable lessons that you learn, time management, how to be a team player, how to work together when you're all trying to achieve the same goal, while also, trying to achieve that goal when you're working with a bunch of different people, who aren't always the same. Kind of really helped me. And, just knowing what it was like going through as a player helps me to relate to my players. And that's oftentimes, a great way of building trust with them is, hey, she knows exactly what we're going through and knows how to help us through this.
Coach, you got a successful background in coaching. You're successful at Medaille, doing some nice things there. When you saw the Muskingum job come open, what was it that attracted you to apply for this position?
Yeah, obviously the, reputation of the conference, being in the OAC, just a great basketball conference, the abilities to be able to get to that NCAA tournament, kind of each and every year, originally attracted me to start looking at the school more. And then once, I went through the interview process, got here to campus, just kind of really seeing the academic standards and the standards of success that the school had really aligned with me and what I want for my program. And then ultimately meeting with Carrie, and seeing her vision for the athletic department kind of, solidified that, this is where I want to be.
Well, we're thrilled to have you here as our coach now, guiding our women's basketball program. And I'm actually fortunate because several of your student athletes work in athletics communication, do a fabulous job for us, and really show a lot of leadership on our campus. And looking forward to that continuing this year and years beyond. When you think back about the way you approach your job every day, who is it that's influenced you the most?
Yeah, I would say both my parents have. I was extremely blessed in how they raised me. They both worked, very hard for what they've gotten. And they're, two of the kindest people I know, and have, showed me and taught me that, that kindness should be shown in whatever work that you're doing, and wherever you are in life.
That's great. And if mom and dad can't make a game this year, OAC TV, all home games stream live. And the majority of, every game in the OAC is streamed live, as well as the majority of all your games you will play away from our campus. What behavior or personality trait do you most attribute to the success that you have, and why?
Yeah, I would say my dedication to whatever it is that I'm doing has really led to that. If I want, something, I want to succeed in some way, I'm extremely dedicated to that. And throughout my career, that means being dedicated to my players, and knowing that, everything I do is for them, which ultimately helps them succeed, which helps me succeed.
Coach, how do you prefer to start your day?
Always with a cup of coffee. Newly introduced to Jennings Java, so that will be my morning cup of coffee from now on, and usually have a good book in my hand while doing it.
There you go. Again, JenningsJava.com. Easy to go on there to get the freshest roast around. Love Jennings Java. Great way to start the day. Once you arrive here on campus, what energizes you?
Yeah, my players. So that's the best part about being in season, and the worst part about summertime is that they're not here. So just, seeing them every day, and knowing that, what I do is for them.
And it's an exciting time now. As teams arrive back on campus, the campus comes alive again. Lots of people walking around. Just such an awesome time of year. What about once you leave the office, once you get back home, what is it that energizes you outside of the job?
Yeah, probably my hatred for standing still. I don't like being, sitting down for long periods of time, always have to be doing something. So whether that's, doing some outdoor activities or work once I get home, just kind of my hatred for sitting still is what energizes me to do something once I get home.
What's a work-related accomplishment that you're really proud of?
Yeah, I would say last year, our team beat a SUNY school, so a state school in New York. A team that I knew growing up and knew of as a really, really high program, just known for always, succeeding. And, for Madai to have beaten them was a really big accomplishment for us. And the excitement that I saw on my players' faces afterwards, I knew it was going to be a good year for us.
That's awesome. I love after games seeing the excitement and the emotion of the players, after big wins, after big plays. That's a special moment. What's one thing that most people don't know about you?
I would say probably my love to golf, and my love to play pickleball. I went to golf camp when I was younger, when I was in probably 5th grade, and then pickleball I recently picked up within the last couple of years.
Oh, that's great. I just played pickleball for the first time this summer.
Yeah.
So we'll have to connect and hit the pickleball around.
Yeah.
Get it going. I was like, man, I love this. This is awesome.
Absolutely. I've got a great group I play with out in Zanesville, so you can join us anytime.
Oh, cool. That's
great.
What about this? What's something that you recently have seen that's made you smile?
Last week when I was home in New York at my parents, my 5-month-old nephew. He has a face that you can't stop smiling when you see him. So he's the most recent person and thing that made me smile.
Oh, that's special. What about this? I know you got the basketball in the bloodline there with your dad. When you were a kid, were you thinking, hey, I'm going to be a coach too, or was there something else you thought you were going to grow up and be?
I knew I always wanted to be a coach. That wasn't always a, full-time thing. Just knew I wanted to get into it in some way. Actually really wanted to be a baker when I grew up, and then a psychologist or a teacher were things that were somewhere in the line of wanting to do as well.
Well, I can tell you that at times people bring cookies into the athletic department, and that's a good thing. So if you want to practice the baking skills,
Okay.
the department will appreciate it.
Perfect. I'll be sure to stop by your office first when I bring those in.
What about this? If we're sitting around and I'm sitting with some of your friends and I ask them to describe you using 3 words, what 3 words would your friends use to describe you?
Yeah. I think if they were being nice and not making fun of me at that time, they would say I was loyal, funny, and kind. If it was a joking time, they would say I'm a workaholic and a professional too often.
Well, the workaholic could come in that you can't sit still, right? You always got to be doing something out through there. But I mean, anytime friends look at you and think that you're a loyal person, I mean, that says a lot about who you are, and then being funny and kind as well. Here's the tough one. If we're doing the movie and we're doing the Kelly Broderick show, and sounds like we got a good show that we could do from your background to today, who would you want to play you in the movie?
Well, I don't know if she would say yes, but I would be honored if Dawn Staley would play me in a movie, is who I would choose.
Oh, there you go. Well, we can always tweet out at Dawn.
There you go.
See what she's thinking when we put this video out. I mean, she might be thrilled to come in and give it a shot. We got the TV studio right above my office here.
Maybe.
What about Superpower? If you could have one, is there one you would want?
Yeah. I don't know if this is technically a superpower, but I wish that I could be in 2 places at once. I feel like there's always different things that I want to be at, and so if I could be in 2 different places at the same time, that would be my superpower that I would choose.
Okay, that sounds almost we're on the verge of cloning here a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. What about this? I mean, is there a go-to food? Is there something that's like your favorite that you always go back to?
Popcorn. I love popcorn. Microwave popcorn, kettle, caramel, any different kind is popcorn is my go-to snack.
Okay, well, we have the snacks little area there in the atrium of the Steel Center, and we're bringing back popcorn this year through SAC. So there'll be some days free popcorn will be floating around the Steel Center.
Perfect. I will be your most avid customer.
And it's going to be free. That's going to be the best
even better.
Even better. Free popcorn. What about this? We live in a digital age now where everyone seems to be on their phones pretty consistently. If you had to have just 3 apps, you could only have 3 on your phone. What are your 3?
My first one would be Audible. I'm a big book reader, so the fact that I can access, books on tape when I'm in the car or wherever I am, is a big one for me. Probably Facebook, just being able to see other people, that I don't get to see that often, post their pictures on there. And unfortunately, I don't want to admit, but TikTok now is something I'm addicted to as well.
There you go. Well, when we put this video out, just make sure to share it out on Facebook so all your family and friends can watch your interview.
Yeah.
And we get more views. And yeah, TikTok can be addicting.
It is.
It's almost like life hacks now when you want to find out how to do things.
Yeah.
I just found out the other day the way how you're supposed to properly cut open a pineapple. So thanks to TikTok.
Yeah.
Is there a TV show? Is there something that you binge?
Friends. Whenever it's accessible, whether it's on cable or, whatever they're showing it on, Friends is a show that no matter how many times I watch it, I could watch it over and over again.
Well, I mean, Friends is a classic. I mean, it's one of the ones that really started the sitcoms. I mean, I probably predate that a little bit with Seinfeld. It is a go-to, but Friends is right there. A great show. Let's kind of get back in the mode here of Muskingum. How has it been since you transitioned here to Muskingum? Getting used to the athletic department, meeting the players. How's that transition been for you?
Yeah, it's been great. It was, as a coach, one of the hardest things is leaving a previous program where you create those relationships. So it was very difficult, leaving my previous players, but everyone here has made it just a fantastic transition. Everybody in the department is super helpful, and I've been extremely lucky with the group of girls that I've come into as well. They're, as you mentioned before, just the returners are awesome kids, and the freshmen seem to be great too. So that's always helpful when they're just good kids in general.
I mean, hard to believe, Coach, that really basketball season tips in like 3 months.
It does.
What are you most looking forward to for the season this year?
Yeah, I'm most looking forward to growing and learning with our group. We have a big class of freshmen. We've got 9 incoming freshmen. So I won't be the only new face. There's going to be a lot of new other ones with me. So just kind of that growing and learning together, each day seeing and learning something new is the best part. And then ultimately, hopefully a lot of wins that we see as well this season.
Coach, is there a style of play that you prefer that, the fans will see on the court this year?
Yeah, we prefer a fast-paced style of play. We want to run up and down the court as much as possible, press a lot, kind of want to speed up the game. And then we don't do too much play calling. We like the players to be able to kind of play on their own out there.
That's great. Looking forward to seeing them here, about 3 months on the court. Right behind the Steel Center where your office is located at, Muskingum is in the process of completing the largest capital project in university history, which is the Bullock Health and Wellness Complex. It's going to have the academic component, athletics, and also a health component in there as well. It will not only impact, Muskingum and our communities, but the region. When you look at this BHWC facility, how do you see it impacting the women's basketball program?
Yeah, obviously for our exercise science majors, it's going to be really great for them. And it's just an awesome piece to show where our school is going. The fact that it broke ground during COVID, just kind of the fact that we can say that to our kids and show them that just really shows them, what great involvement the whole school has, in the athletics and in the well-being of our student athletes. And even though, we don't have a specific gymnasium in there, anytime it benefits any group on campus, that means it's going to benefit our program as well.
You touch base on the tremendous leadership at the top with the board of directors deciding we're moving forward with this project, President Hassler's vision with this project, and that vote happened right when COVID really hit and we went home for that semester. Here we are 2 years later, getting ready to unlock the doors of a multi-million-dollar facility, which is going to be just an unbelievable experience for our student athletes and for anybody who comes into that building. Mm-hmm. What is the best way for recruits to contact you when they're sitting out there and you're talking about sophomores, juniors, seniors, and they're thinking Muskingum might be a program I want to check out? What's the best way for them to learn more?
Yeah, I would say texting or calling is probably the best way. Texting just to set up a phone call. Don't want to go back and forth too much over that text. Stuff gets lost that way. So texting to set up a phone call. And that way then we can figure out when we can get together face to face.
Awesome. Well, Coach, I want to thank you for taking time today to join us here with Coffee with Coaches, presented by Jennings Java, JenningsJava.com for that fresh roast experience. And look forward to seeing you on the sidelines this year as you guide the women's basketball program.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate the time, and we're looking forward to it as well.
Awesome. Thank you, and go Muskies.
Go Muskies.